Thanks to our beloved Miss Norzana, today we'll be presenting on statistics on Malaysians online banking application usage. This study aimed to provide a comprehensive analysis of the usage of online banking application among Malaysians, focused on variables such as income level, type of online banking application use, monthly frequency of use, and etc. By examining this variable, we seek to identify trends and correlation that can inform strategies to enhance user experience, improve service offering, and promote financial inclusion. For instance, analyzing how income level affect the choice and frequency of online banking app usage.
The objective of the study. The first objective is to describe the demographic and usage pattern of internet banking among various groups of the population. This involves gathering information on income level, type of online banking application, weekly frequency online banking usage, monthly frequency online banking usage, average transaction amount per week, average transaction amount per month, and the most usage of online banking feature. The second objective is to investigate whether there is a significant difference for the type of online banking application usage and the monthly frequency of online banking apps usage among the public respondent. This is to identify and categorize the online banking apps usage by the public communities. For example, you might identify the detail of the online banking usage for monthly and weekly. The third objective is to figure out whether there is a relationship between the type of online banking application and monthly frequency of online banking apps usage among the respondent. We collect the data on the types of online banking apps usage and monthly frequency of online banking usage in the sample. A positive correlation indicates that as the type of online banking apps, so does the monthly frequency of usage.
As for the population, the respondents are all public communities with different types of Malaysian online banking applications usage. As for the sample, there are 35 respondents of the public communities in each of several types of Malaysian online banking usage, which are Bank Simpanan Nasional, BSN, Haliong Bank, RHB Bank, Maybank, CIMB Bank, and other online bank applications among the public respondents. As for the type of study, it is sample survey. And for the sampling unit, this sampling unit of the study is the public communities. And for the sampling frame, is the list of public communities that being the respondents of the survey questionnaire provided based on the preferences of the type of Malaysian online banking application usage such as BSN, Haliong Bank, RHB, Maybank, CIM Bank, and others. As for the source of the data, it is by primary data. And for the type of statistics, it is a descriptive and inferential statistics. For the data collection method, we use questionnaire survey where we provide all the questions for the respondent and we share the link of the Google form to the public. And for the sampling technique is under probability, which is simple random technique. So for the right table here is the method of analysis, which we can see here it is based on the three objectives. For the first one is the initial goal is to describe the demographics and usage patterns of internet banking among various groups of the populations. These involve gathering information of income level, type of online banking applications, weekly frequency online banking usage and monthly, and then average transactions amount per week and per month, and the most usage of online banking features. And for the first objective statistical method, we use like bar chart, histogram, pie chart, and horizontal bar graph the most. And for the second one here is to investigate whether there is a significant difference for the types of online banking applications usage and the monthly frequency of online banking app usage among the public respondents. And the statistical method is we have to find the analysis of variance. And the third one is to figure out whether the types of online banking applications and monthly frequency app usage among the respondent, these two variables that we have to investigate for the statistical method, which is the regressions and correlations.
With frequency table and GROUP4 age, according to the pie chart, the majority of respondents, or 42.9% of the total, are in the 19 to 30 age range. The frequency of 14 for this indicates that almost 50% of the participants falls into this younger age group. With a cumulative percentage of 42.9%, this group represents a sizable portion of the sample as a whole. Following this, the age range of 31 to 40 years old accounts for 25.7% of the sample and has a frequency of 9. This group makes up 68.6% of the total responses, which highlights the prevalence of younger people in the sample, together with the frequency of the younger cohort. The 41 to 50 age group contributes 20% with a frequency of 7. When combined with the previous groups, the cumulative percentage reaches to 88.6%, indicating that the vast majority of the sample consists of individual age between 19 and 50 years. Lastly, the 51 to 59 years old age group is the latest represented with only 4 respondents, making up 11.4% of the sample. This representation brings the cumulative percentage to 100%, thereby encompassing the entire sample population. Next, frequency table and graph for income level. The income levels of 35 respondents are represented by a bar chart that is separated into 2 categories, which is less than 5,250 ringgit and between 5,250 ringgit to 11,819. The frequency table shows that although 34.3% or 12 respondents earn more than RM 5,250 ringgit, 65.7% or 23 respondents earn less than 5,250 ringgit. This difference is visually represented by the chart, where the bar representing the lower income group is noticeably taller than the bar representing the higher income range. The majority of the sample population earns less than 5,250 ringgit, as this visual portrayal make clear. For the weekly frequency of online banking app usage among 35 respondents is displayed in the bar chart. The most frequent usage frequency is 1 to 2 times per week for online banking apps, as reported by the largest percentage of respondents, 18 respondents. 9 respondents who use the apps 3 to 5 times a week come in after this, whereas 7 respondents use them more than 5 times a week. The graph clearly demonstrates that while a small percentage of respondents use online banking apps more regularly, the majority of respondents use them more often. Next, frequency of online banking usage monthly. Three categories are identified on the horizontal axis, which is 1 to 5 times, 6 to 8 times, and more than 10 times. The vertical axis has a range of 0 to 12.5, but no units are indicated. 1 to 5 times is the most frequently occurring category, followed by 6 to 10 times, and more than 10 times, according to the graphic. The chart's vertical axis lacks units, making it impossible to determine the precise frequency for each group. For frequency average transaction value per week, the percentages displayed in the table correspond to the slices of the pie chart. The largest slice between 101 ringgit to 500 ringgit, which is 51.4%, suggests that the average transaction value is probably in this range. It is expected that the slices level 0 to 100 ringgit, which is 32.9%, and more than 500 ringgit, which is 22.9%, will be smaller, signifying respectively lower and larger average transaction values. The other slice, which makes up the lowest piece of the data at 2.9%, is probably associated with lower average transaction values. And last, frequency for quantitative data, which is frequency average transaction value per month. The percentage of transactions in each category indicated in the table is reflected in the size of the slice. The greatest portion between 500 ringgit to 2,000 ringgit, which is 57.1%, suggests that this range is probably where the average transaction value falls. The slice level 0 to 500 ringgit, which is 14.3%, and more than 2,000 ringgit, which is 28.6%, show average transaction values that are anticipated to be greater and lower, respectively. The other slice, which makes up the lowest piece of the data, which is 2.9%, is probably associated with the lower average transaction values.
Next, we will move to frequency table and pie chart for gender. Female frequency at 17 has 48.6%, while gender for male frequency at 18 has 51.4%, which is the highest percentage than female. So the total for both gender is 30. Next, for occupation, teachers have the highest usage at 45.7, frequency 16. Other occupation are the second highest, 22.9, frequency 8. Clerk make 17.1, frequency 6. Student account 11.4, frequency 4. Nurses have the lowest usage, 2.9, frequency 1. Moreover, for education level, bachelor degree is at frequency 17, 48.6, which is the highest percentage. After that, 9 frequencies are for diploma, STPM, SKM, and etc., 25.7. Master degree frequency is 4, 11.4. Lastly, the table shows the secondary school SPM PT3 frequency is 5, 14.3. But not least, for online banking application, Bank Simpanan Nasional is the highest, 31.4, frequency 11. Other banks are at 22.9, frequency 8. CMB Bank is 20, frequency 7. Frequency 3 for Hong Leong Bank, and My Bank is 17.1, frequency 6. Lastly, for most used online banking feature, auto-deducted can be bought for bill payment and fund transfer, frequency at 5.7. After that, 30 frequency are for bill payment, 37.1, and funds transfer frequency is 20, 57.1. Measure of centrality, the mean frequency of online banking usage is 9.91 times per month, suggesting that individuals engage in online banking activities almost twice a month on average. The median frequency is 2, indicating that half of respondents use online banking at least twice a month. The most frequently occurring value is 1, meaning the most common frequency of usage is once a month. The standard deviations for measure of deviations indicates that the frequency of online banking usage is closely around the mean of 1.91 times per month, variance of 0.7 to 8, and the standard error of the mean is 0.144, suggesting a precise estimate of the population mean. The range is 2, which uses frequency varying from 1 to 3 times per month. Moreover, for the measure of position, the percentage of frequency of online banking usage show that 35% of respondents use online banking 1 time per month, 15% use it 2 times per month, and 75% use it 3 times per month. And lastly, measure of skewness for the frequency online banking usage is data 0.170. The standard error of skewness is 0.398 and the kurtosis is negative 1.623 with a standard error of 0.778. This statistic indicates that the data exhibit moderate positive skew, meaning the distribution has a longer right tail and the majority of the values are concentrated on the left side of the distributions.
Hypothesis testing for mean ANOVA, we have two hypothesis statements, which is null hypothesis, mu1 equal to mu2 equal to mu3 equal to 0. And our alternative hypothesis is not all three means are equal. We have to select the distribution which is testing more than two means and k is equal to 3. Use formula for ANOVA F distribution. We have a significance level alpha equal to 0.05. Our p-value is smaller than 0.001. Then we make comparison p-value and alpha. Based on the decision rule, we reject null hypothesis if the p-value smaller than or equal alpha. Since p-value which is smaller than 0.001, smaller than or equal to alpha 0.05, we have to reject null hypothesis. To conclude, we have to reject the null hypothesis that the mean frequency of bank online apps usage monthly for all the respondents in using all 5 types of online banking application is the same at the 5% significance level. For regression and correlation, the third objective is to figure out whether there is a relationship between the type of online bank application and the monthly frequency of online banking apps usage among the respondents. The scatter diagram illustrates the data point representing the type of online banking apps on the x-axis and the frequency of online bank usage monthly on the y-axis. As a result, after examining the scatter plot, it can be concluded that there is a relationship or correlation between the type of online bank apps and the frequency of online bank usage monthly. For percent coefficient of correlation R equal to 0.532, this indicates that there is a positive weak linear relationship between the type of online bank apps and the frequency of online bank usage monthly. In this case, with a correlation coefficient of 0.532, the relationship between the frequency of bank online apps usage monthly and the type of online bank apps is weak. It suggests that there is a minimal positive association between these two variables. The type of online bank apps have a little positive impact on the frequency of online bank apps usage monthly. We can get coefficient of determination R squared equal to 0.0801. We can interpret that 8.01% of the total variation in the frequency of online bank apps usage is explained by the type of online bank apps. The other 91.99% of variation is explained by other factor. Coefficient of the frequency of online bank usage monthly and the type of bank apps. From the SPSS output, we can get y-intercepts equal to 1.129 and slope b equal to 0.222. The least square regression line is y equal to 1.129 plus 0.222x. Frequency of online bank usage monthly equal to 1.129 plus 0.222 times type of online bank apps. We can interpret if the frequency of online bank usage monthly is increased by 1 unit, the type of online bank apps number will increase by 0.222 units.
Pie chart is the most used graphical method to display the data information of age, average transactions value per week and month, gender, and the most used online banking features. From this pie chart method, we can figure out that most use of online banking features are for bill payment, fund transfers, and other financial activity according to respondents' own preferences. And for the second one here, we use histograms that help illustrates the occupations and the types of online banking apps. So as for the result, the majority of the respondents that we collected occupations are teachers, clerks, nurse, and still students being the users of the online banking apps. And then this provides a chance to users to choose the best online banking apps that are user-friendly for them to manage their daily financial activities. And for the third one graphical method we use is bar chart. It is to provide information of the respondents' income level and the weekly and monthly frequency of online banking usage and the education level. As for the income level we collected, it shows that we choose the possibility of income amount within less than Rm 5,000 ringgit 250 and between 5,250 until 11,890.
To understand the relationships between variables and true conversion from the survey data on Malaysian online banking application usage, inferential analysis was employed. One key method used was one-way analysis of variance, or also known ANOVA, which tests for significant differences between the means of 3 or more groups. In this study, ANOVA helped determine if variables such as income level, types of online banking application use, and average weekly and monthly transaction amounts show statistically significant difference. Additionally, regression analysis was used to explore the relationships between independent variables, while correlation analysis measured the direction and strength of linear relationship among variables like income level, frequency of online banking use, and the types of application use. Overall, the inferential analysis went beyond merely summarizing the data, uncovering critical factors influencing user behavior. By applying ANOVA, regression, and correlation, the study identified key characteristics and patterns in the usage of online banking applications in Malaysia.